watching GVTV News.
Thanks, Mark, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's world news headlines, Egyptian president dismisses top generals, supporters fill Tahrir Square, and Romney picks Paul Ryan as running mate, firing up Tea Party wing of GOP. And we have a special on that a little later in the show. Clinton says Syria no-fly zone is possibility as refugees crisis deepens in bloody weekend in Afghanistan, 6 U.S. troops killed. And Sikh temple reopens in Wisconsin following neo-Nazi attack. And in Tennessee, the mosque opens after years of arson and vandalism. And 300 killed, thousands injured in Iran earthquakes. And Mexican activists launch caravan of peace in U.S. to protest drug war. And New Mexico accused of purging 177,000 voters. And global hunger summit held in London. And Obama to announce $170 million in drought support. And NYPD shoot dead a man in Times Square after attempted marijuana bust. And Hong Kong judge orders dismantling of occupied encampment. And Tammy Smith becomes first openly gay general. GVTV News is broadcast on Grass Valley Television, division of Rural Counties Television Network, whose focus is on community involvement. We also air on NCTV. But before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, in a major shakeup, Egypt's new president, Mohamed Morsi, has dismissed Cairo's two top generals, Field Marshal Hussein Tantawa and Chief Military of Staff Sami Anan. Tantawa has served as ousted leader Hosni Mubarak's defense minister for 2 decades and headed the powerful Supreme Council of Armed Forces. Tantawa has not yet indicated whether he accepts the moves. To replace him, Morsi appointed General Abdullah Fattah el-Sisi for intelligence. Thousands have gathered in Tahrir Square to support the overhaul. In a speech, Morsi said the moves are for the benefit of this nation. The focus of the presidential race turns to Iowa as both President Obama and Mitt Romney's new running mate Paul Ryan visited the Hawkeye state. It marked Ryan's first day in solo campaigning. Romney selected 7-term Republican congressman from Wisconsin on Saturday morning, and Mitt said, if they elect Paul Ryan and me, we're going to do 5 things that are going to bring back America's economy. You're going to see a resurgence of jobs, a resurgence in our competitiveness. You're going to see us finally get America on track to balance the budget. We're going to do what it takes to bring America back. Romney's selection of Ryan is expected to fire up the conservative base of the Republican Party. Ryan has become a Tea Party favorite to be pushing a controversial budget and economic visions marked with deep cutbacks to social safety net coupled with lower tax rates over the years. Ryan has pushed for privatization of Social Security, dismantling Medicare, and slashing funding for Medicaid. He also has proposed cutting food stamps for nearly 10 million Americans, cutting funds for programs like Meals on Wheels, and eliminating Pell Grants for more than 1 million students. On the tax front, Ryan has proposed a plan to slash taxes to the wealthiest Americans while raising taxes on some of the poor. New York Times reports that at one statistical count, Ryan is the most conservative vice presidential nominee in more than 100 years. On Saturday, Ryan joined Romney on the campaign trail in Virginia. Paul Ryan said, America is on the wrong track, but Mitt Romney and I will take the right steps at the right time for us to get it on the right track. I believe that my record will get things done in Congress, and there will be a helpful complement to Governor Romney's executive and private sector success outside of Washington. I've worked closely with Republicans as well as Democrats to advance an agenda of economic growth, fiscal discipline, and job creation. I'm proud to stand with a man who understands what it takes to foster job creation in our community. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has announced that the United States and Turkey will study a range of new measures to help Syrian opposition, including a possible no-fly zone. Clinton remarks are the closest Washington has come to suggesting direct military action in Syria to oust Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Hillary Clinton said the planning, what the minister and I agreed to today, was to a very intensive operational planning. We have been closely coordinating over the course of this conflict, but now we need to get into the real details of such operational planning, and it needs to be across both of our governments. Certainly our two ministries are coordinating much of it, but our intelligence services, our military, have very important responsibilities and roles to play. United Nations humanitarian chief Valerie Amos has announced she will travel to Syria and Lebanon this week to discuss ways of increasing aid to civilians caught in the Syrian conflict. Adrian Edwards said UNHCR's office in Lebanon, Turkey, Jordan, and Iraq are all reporting increasing this week in the number of refugees from Syria. Our data primarily reflects the number of people who have registered or are in process of being registered, totaling a population of 146,667 people as of yesterday evening. In several countries we know there are substantial refugee numbers, but these people have not yet registered. It has been another bloody weekend in Afghanistan. Earlier the other day, a bomb attacked in northern Afghanistan killed 5 people, including a district mayor and local members of the government-run Peace Council. On Sunday, a roadside bomb in eastern Afghanistan killed a district government chief and 3 of his bodyguards. On Saturday, a member of the Afghan National Police opened fire and killed at least 10 of the colleagues in southwestern Afghanistan. And on Friday, 6 U.S. troops were killed. Early on Friday, 3 U.S. Marines were gunned down by Afghan police commander and his men after accepting an invitation to have dinner. Later on Friday, an Afghan civilian worker at NATO base shot dead 3 more U.S. soldiers. Brigadier General Günter Katz of NATO said, "Let me clearly say that these incidents do not clearly reflect the overall situation in Afghanistan, where mostly 500,000 soldiers and policemen are working together side by side, enhancing their trust and enhancing their cooperation in order to be together, fight for a better future of a country, and together to pressure the insurgency." And Sikh worshippers in Oak Creek, Wisconsin held their first official service Sunday since the neo-Nazi attack in a temple that killed 6 people. Hundreds of Sikhs came from across the country to take part in the service. 2 days earlier, Attorney General Eric Holder, the thief, spoke before thousands of people at a memorial service in Oak Creek. And he said, "Unfortunately for the Sikh community, this sort of violence has become all too common in recent years. In the recent past, too many Sikhs have been targeted and victimized simply because who they are, how they look, and what they believe. It is wrong, it is unacceptable, and it will not be tolerated." Unquote. Islamic Center of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, opened on Friday. Over the past 2 years, the mosque site has come under repeated attacks, including arson and vandalism. And a pair of powerful earthquakes in Iran have killed more than 300 people and injured thousands. The 2 earthquakes struck northeast Iran on Saturday. Red Crescent said that 1,000 villages in the area were affected. A group of Mexican activists have crossed into California to begin a month-long peace convoy to call for an end to the U.S.-backed drug war. Caravan for Peace is organized by Mexican poet-turned-activist Javier Cecilia. His son was killed by drug traffickers last year, and he said, "We are going to the United States to tell them to build them. They owe us peace. Together we need to construct this peace. It is the time for the citizens," as said by one of the founding fathers of the United States, Benjamin Franklin. "If we don't all work together to create peace, any peace, we will get nothing but war." In voting rights news, Democrats are accusing the Republican Secretary of State in New Mexico of attempting to purge more than 177,000 voters from the state's voter rolls. Postcards were recently sent to voters saying that if they had to verify their voting status in order to remain active. Voters targeted included the wife of Democratic State's representative, as well as Diane Wood, the voting rights director for Common Cause New Mexico. Wood, who had been an active voter since 1971, criticized the action of New Mexico Secretary of State Diana Duran. And she said, "I'm just shocked that I took my job to fight for other people's rights to get their votes counted. Now I'm having to fight for my own. I just don't know why Secretary Duran is doing this to people, trying to take our votes away." I thought they were just verifying. As Olympic Games wrapped up on Sunday. Global Hunger Summit was held in London. Summit was attended by world leaders as well as several Olympic athletes. British Prime Minister David Cameron hosted the meeting, and he said the figures are truly shocking. 1 in every 3 child deaths are linked to malnutrition. 171 million children are so malnourished by the age of 2 that they can never physically recover. That is a terrible thing about this that we should call a silent crisis because it harms for life. President Obama is expected to announce that the Department of Agriculture intends to buy up $170 million of pork, lamb, chicken, and catfish to help support farmers suffering from the nation's worst drought in more than 50 years. Food purchases will go towards food nutrition assistance programs like food banks. And New York City police shot and killed a 51-year-old African-American man in the heart of Times Square on Saturday afternoon. Police fired 12 shots at Darius Kennedy, who was first confronted by police for smoking marijuana. Police said they fired at him when he refused orders to drop a knife and move towards them. The shooting occurred in one of the busiest parts of the city and was witnessed by many tourists. And in Occupy news, a judge in Hong Kong has ordered Occupy protesters to abandon their encampment outside the bank headquarters of HSBC by August 27. Activists had been camping at the site since October. And Brigadier General Tammy Smith has become the first openly gay officer of flag rank in the United States military. On Friday, Smith came out when she had her wife pin her star to her uniform during a promotion ceremony. And that's it for World News today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News.
Soundcheck Music Center, the rock and roll connection. We have guitars, amps, drum equipment, sound accessories, lessons, and repairs. We are located at 671 Maltman Drive, Grass Valley. 530-272-7236, open 7 days a week.
No one needs anyone, they don't even just pretend. Jonah's an American. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't.
That's right, it's time for the police blotter, and pictures in the blotter are not from these actual events, but used for visual aid only. These public records are obtained from daily logs issued from the Nevada County Law Enforcement. Grass Valley Police Department on Thursday, 8:43 a.m., a report was taken from the 200 block of Dorsey Drive of the theft of CDs, medication, and credit cards from a car. 9 a.m., a report was taken from 100 block of Brunswick Road that someone threw a bottle through a window last night. And 11:38 a.m., a report was taken 1200 block East Main Street of theft of a laptop and $300 from a wallet. And 3:33 p.m., a person on Freeman Lane was advised against urinating in public. And 4:18 p.m., a report was taken in Maiden Lane, a toothless man lying on a mattress on a driveway. He could not be located. At 6:29 p.m., a report was taken from Freeman Lane of a physical fight that involved parties that said there was a verbal dispute only. 7:52 p.m., a report was taken in 100 block West McKnight Way of a woman stole cosmetic kit and accessories. She could not be located. And Friday, 1:39 a.m., a report was taken 100 block of Stewart Street of a man passed out on a porch who was moving on. Nevada County Sheriff's Office on Thursday, 10:54 a.m., a report was taken from the fairgrounds of a theft. 11:13 a.m., a report was taken 10,000 block of Pittsburgh Road of a theft of a motorboat and motor. And 1:27 p.m., a man reported someone pulled a gun on him at Wet Hill Road. 2:07 p.m., a woman on 11,000 block of Willow Valley Road reported someone stole $3,650 from her bedroom. 2:22 p.m., a report was taken from fairgrounds, missing 3-year-old girl who was located. 3 p.m., 6-year-old boy was reported lost but was located. At 3:18 p.m., a 5-year-old girl was united with a grandfather, and an 8-year-old was reported lost. At 8:10 p.m., was located. 8:57 p.m., 3-year-old was reunited with his father. 3:07 p.m. a report was taken from 10,000 block of Comby Road, possible child abuse. And 3:59 p.m. a report was taken from 10,000 block of Golden Polaris Place of a physical fight. It was mutual pushing and grabbing, and no report was desired. 4:53 p.m. a report was taken from 10,000 block of Alta Sierra Drive of theft of floodlights. And 7:32 p.m. a report was taken at fairgrounds that a mother threw a snow cone at a baby. 8:49 p.m. a woman at Round Valley Circle reported a fight with her daughter who was threatening to stab her. She then tried to open a beer and was biting her mother. She was arrested on suspicion of battery. 9:15 p.m. a report was taken from fairgrounds, theft of a purse and $200. And 9:33 p.m. a report was taken from the fairgrounds of a stolen cell phone. 10:23 p.m. a report was taken from the fairgrounds of a physical fight on a dance floor. They were escorted off the property. 10:42 p.m. a report was taken from the fairgrounds of a physical fight. The subjects were evicted. And Friday, 12:41 a.m. a report was taken from 10,000 block of Limekiln Road of a person had pulled a toilet out of the wall and was freaking out. 3:15 a.m. a report was taken from a man on 14,000 block of Sun Forest Drive reporting a woman assaulted him. She was arrested on spousal abuse, vandalism, and removing a weapon, not a firearm, from a peace officer. In Nevada City Police Department on Thursday, 8:43 a.m. a report was taken from Nevada Street of gas had been siphoned from a car yesterday. Friday, 3:12 a.m. a report was taken from Broad Street that a man passed out in the middle of the street. He was arrested on suspicion of being drunk in public. And that's it for our police blotter today. Now, another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. Now, but before that, here is a first, but not the last, special report from our own roving reporter, Juan Brown from Washington, D.C. In coming news, this segment will be whenever we have a scoop, so over to you, Juan.
Reporting live from the White House, this is Juan Brown for GVTV News. Good evening, Randy. Juan Brown, your roving reporter in Washington, D.C., where it's just been announced that Mitt Romney will select Paul Ryan as his vice presidential running mate in this year's election. And that's going to be for vice presidential running mate, not presidential running mate, as Mitt announced. He later corrected his statement, and apparently President Obama made the same gaffe a few years earlier. Paul Ryan, not a household name, particularly out in our neck of the woods. However, we're going to soon learn much more about him in the coming weeks and months ahead as the campaign grinds to its shocking conclusion.
Thanks, Juan, and now another thanks to our underwriter who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. Christopher's Old World Deli and Catering Company has brought its delicious food and service downtown Grass Valley. Like desserts? They got 'em. You like international style lunches? They got 'em. Christopher's Deli and Catering for parties, get-togethers, weddings, or whatever. Open 7 days a week. In today's local news headlines, local man had tough charges pending in court, and driver arrested with machine gun in Marysville. In Tahoe, man arrested on suspicion of attempting murder after stabbing, and more older adults choose cohabitation over marriage. In our first story, Judge Tom Anderson found that Corey Cicero, who had been arrested for more than one charge more than once, and with a failure to appear on top of that, it was found that to have enough evidence to continue on to a preliminary hearing. Charges of possessing meth and having it for sale will proceed so far. It seems he also has a suspicion of attempted burglary with another man, Jordan Rose, 19, who took a man's car keys and other property and fled in a pickup truck. In this case, he even drove through a golf course, lost control, left the car to hide in Lake of the Pines residential area where he was finally caught. In the drug case, an officer, Blakemore, testified in court of finding 100 empty bags and a scale at Lou Cicero's East Berry Hill Drive apartment and one spindle approximately 1.5 grams of meth in his pocket. Also, another 14.7 grams was found in Lou Cicero's pocket and that search. Lou Cicero's attorney, Greg Klein, questioned Blakemore on his experience and how he could determine the drugs found were for personal use or for sale. Another Detective Bates from the GVPD also testified and lent credibility to Blakemore's testimony that using and selling meth were a common element based on his past 8 years' experiences in drug cases. Preliminary hearing date is set for August 23rd, 9 a.m. Marysville police arrested a man and seized a machine gun Friday night. Officers pulled over a vehicle about 7:15 p.m. at 10th and G Street for a speeding violation. The driver, Ricky Bernard Penn, 21, of Yuba City, was determined to be an unlicensed driver. Inside the vehicle, police found a 9mm M11 Cobra, the one pictured here, machine gun loaded with extended magazine. Penn was booked into Yuba County Jail on charges of possession and transporting an assault weapon machine gun, along with an enhancement for gang affiliation, police said. Bail was set at $50,000. And out of Kings Beach, California, a 24-year-old Lake Tahoe man had been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder following a stabbing last week. Officials said, according to the Placer County Sheriff's Office, at about 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, August 9th, two local males got into a fight in the 200 block of Fox Street in Kings Beach, during which Carlos Roca Lara, 24, pulled a knife and stabbed a 19-year-old male in the abdomen and forehead. The victim drove himself to Incline Community Hospital, where he was stabilized and flown to medical helicopter to Reno Medical Center in Reno, according to the Sheriff's Office. He was released the next day with non-life-threatening injuries. Lara was arrested on the scene on suspicion of attempted murder and possession of dangerous concealed weapon and being held without bail at Placer County Jail in Auburn as of last Monday. And out of Bowling Green, Ohio, on August 13th, more and more adults age 50 and over are choosing to live with their significant other instead of marrying them, according to the study from researchers at the National Center for Family and Marriage Research, the NCFMR, at Bowling Green State University. During later life, cohabitation appears to be operation as a long-term alternative to marriage rather than a first step down the aisle. The study is featured by August Journal of Marriage and Family. Using the data from the 1998 to 2006 Health and Retirement Study, the 2010 current population survey authors found that the cohabitation among adults over 50 more than doubled from 1.2 million to 2.75 million. According to Dr. Susan Brown, lead author of the study and co-director of NCFMR, most prior research of cohabitation focuses on young and middle-aged adults, essentially ignoring the experience of older adults, which in turn ignores the rapidly aging U.S. population. This trend is now accelerating as the baby boomers, the first generation of cohabitant in large numbers, move into the older adult population, suggesting that cohabitation will be increasingly common among older Americans. Similarly to their younger counterparts, older Americans are embracing cohabitation in record numbers. Brown and colleagues assert that cohabitation among older adults is important because it plays a unique role in the lives of older Americans. Living together provides many of the benefits of marriage, such as partnership without the potential costs like the mingling of financial assets. Older adults desire an intimate partnership, but without the legal constraints marriage entails. Ain't that the truth? Demographically, researchers found that women are especially reluctant to marry in later life, citing caregiving strains that marriage may involve as well as perceived loss of freedom. Most older cohabitants are divorced, followed by widowed, and then never married, whereas older widowers were more likely to remarry. Perhaps the more remarkable feature of cohabitation among older adults, in stark contrast to their younger counterparts, is the durability of the unions. Of those who were living together when the study began, the average duration of their unions at that point was more than 8 years. After the ensuing 8 years covered by the study, only 18% of these unions ended in separation, only 12% ended in marriage. The rest lasted until death of one partner or the end of the study. The retreat from marriage is evident among older adults who increasingly favor cohabitation over remarriage, Brown added. And that's it for our local news today. Now we'd like to thank Amy Goodman, Reuters, Associated Press, Ubanet, Sierra Foothill Report, the Union, and local law enforcement, and others for the sourcing of our news, and you for watching. Remember, we are the only visual video news media in Nevada County, and we are free for you to watch 7 days a week. If you have local stories and would like to have them aired on our news, please email us and limit the story to 750 words. If you have pictures, please include them in the email. grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com. Include some type of contact information for verification of facts. You can watch this broadcast Comcast Cable, NCTV, Channel 11 in Nevada County, 8 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 10:30 a.m. Saturday and 8 p.m. Sunday. And Suddenlink Channel 16, I think at the same times, in Truckee and Alta Sierra. We also are streamed on the internet at NCTV's Digital Media Center website, nevadacountytv.org, and GVTV.org. And don't forget Grass Valley Television that plays 24/7 on the net, grassvalleytelevision.com. We post to Facebook, YouTube, Blip.tv, and many other podcast sites. Have our RSS feed and video podcasts on iTunes. Just search under Video Podcast for GVTV News. Grass Valley Television also videotapes local events around Nevada County. If you have a need for video, you can contact us for more info, grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com, or 530-362-8889 if you have a question about any of our broadcasts or any ideas. This show is produced by Grass Valley Television of Rural County's Television Network. We hope you will tune in to our new season, as we are going to spice it up with more news in the future. Please email us with ideas and comments. We like to hear from you, and like us on Facebook. The news player can be embedded on your site, and you can see it every day, or you can just come to our site and see it. Due to the lack of underwriters, we will be doing 3 shows a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday editions. We would expand when we get more community support. We're looking for that, so that's it. Grass Valley Television works hard to bring you news and entertainment from around the world and local content you do not get on mainstream media. We want to expand and improve what you see, and we need your help. If you support this program and want exposure for your business, then this is a win-win situation. Underwriting is important for us. For information, just email us, grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com.